Hello class, and right off the bat I truly humbly apologize for the unfortunate situation where the bookstore made a mistake and got the old version of your Expression web book. That has never happened before in my career, and I feel really badly about that. I now have a copy of your book, and again, if you happen to have, I'm making this really large, if you happen to have a copy of this particular book, I don't know if I can make it larger or not, maybe I can't. If you have a copy of this particular book anyway, with this, looks like almost like a Star of David, kind of a, I don't know what kind of shape, but that is like a hexagonal shape, then you have the older book. If you have the newer book, contact me immediately and I can adjust the assignments accordingly. Basically what you have to follow, this is such an old book that there is not even an electronic copy online, and therefore I can't give the very, very visual learner something to refer to. So I just have to give you pages and hope that you can be a good listener. The way you want to do these exercises when you're dealing with web pages, if you will go to page 35, they call them EW for Expression Web, page EW 35, you'll notice at the bottom of the page that there are several folders, and you can get these online. Basically what happens in this book, there is a tutorial which is represented by what we call a chapter, and in that each chapter there's an exercise that's done very thoroughly on a major topic. In this case it's formatting text, and I think maybe inserting a picture in there possibly. And there are some other exercises at the end of each chapter. At the end of each chapter, the book pages will change color from a white background to a very blue background. And I purposely have not given additional exercises because I didn't want to give blindly an assignment without having some kind of book to go by, because I know there are individuals who at CCC who, and I say this in a loving way, really are protective of their grade point average, particularly the 4.0 people, and they get really nervous and upset if they feel threatened with it. And I understand those academics. I've been at this business for a very, very long time, and I want to assure you that the focus here is on learning, not on destroying grade point average. So please try as best you can online, especially when it's lonely in cyberspace, to try to relax as much as possible. We're going to focus just on the case study here that is called House Dressings in your book. The title of the chapter is Formatting Text, but the case study is called House Dressings. What you need to do first of all, and this will be the first of 2, possibly 3 videos, so they can be as short as possible, but I tend to get long-winded in talking, so you'll have to accept any faults that go with it. But hopefully this will help you and help you out and make you feel more comfortable and less nervous about the course and about these chapters. You want to go to Blackboard and go to the Help section, the Help link, and at the very top I've got a folder that says Data Files from the older Expression Web book. If you'll just click on that, I have at the very top of the list, I've got files for tutorial 2. Now you'll see something on my screen. Those of you especially are what I call exact words people. You may get a little nervous, but again, try to relax. You want to go to the section that says Files for Tutorial 2. You actually will not need all of these files. I was very blindly having to stab at this without having the old version of the textbook. The only 2 you'll need are the ones called Default and the one called House. So you'll need to download these by whatever method you want to do them. Just go to Save Target As, anything with the word save, and you save them wherever you want to save them. I'm going to save mine in a particular place. It doesn't matter where you save them as long as you can keep up with them. And that's something I'm going to assume that people know. I'm not starting with a very basic computer course for people who don't know how to use it. And you want to also get the one called House. So Default and House you want to save where you can get to them. Now what's important about this, once you've downloaded these, it's very, 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 very important that you have a folder of some kind that contains this information. And again, those of you who are really super grade conscious and get real nervous about stuff, try to relax. I'll say that probably a lot until you're tired of hearing it from me. You want to create a brand new folder, and you can name this folder by whatever it says in the book. If you are very, very insistent on words in the book, you can call it what the book does, tutorial.02. That is totally up to you. It's not going to hurt anything, but I'm going to call it tutorial.02 to keep up with the book and try to calm the more nervous student. Inside that folder, you want to bring in the files. I'm sorry, I had to take my headphones off to scratch my ear. I'm sorry. I'm a little crazy that way. You want to put inside this folder the file that is called house and the file that is called default. And again, I'm going to assume that you have the background knowledge on how to do this. So again, let me make sure you're understanding this. You want to have a folder, and inside that folder you want both of these items to be contained in there. It looks like that they're both HTML documents rather than actual copies of pictures. Bojack, the writer of the book, is very methodical. He tends to focus on getting used to the software package first and then gets involved in the actual mechanics of using it. Now I'm going to page 36, and I'm sort of going on the fly with this. I know Expression Web very well, but not with this older version of the book. So what you're going to do first, once you get this set up, and again I'm fading out because I've got, it looks like maybe an ear infection at this recording, and again I apologize for this and hope that you can understand me. I'll try to go as rapidly but also as methodically as I can through this very long chapter because it has a lot of steps. Focus on the brown background boxes to see if you can handle this okay. You want to actually go in now and start Microsoft Expression Web. If you don't have Microsoft Expression Web on your computer, if you've been having problems with installing the software, which surprises me because last semester people didn't seem to have this problem, and all of a sudden I'm seeing these emails of and Blackboard messages of very panicked people, and we'll work through it. There's an idea I have with this which I'll refer to on Blackboard for you. But let's just assume for the sake of argument right now that you do have Expression Web and you'll have version 4, a newer version than this book addresses. So go ahead and open up Microsoft Expression Web, and if there are any discrepancies among the screen captures in here, again because of the bookstore's egregious mistake, you'll have to just work with me the best you can. I didn't want to put you folks who are financially prohibited in another $120 purchase of a book when it was unnecessary. So I'm taking the brunt of the problem here. Now, it's very important that you get away from the Microsoft Office mentality. We're so used to going file open, file open, file open with everything. With websites, you want to avoid that as much as possible. And you want to use what is in the book, and you've got to make yourself underscore, asterisk, or highlight it in whatever way that is necessary. On page EW36, when you start Expression Web, you want to click the book will say one way, and I want you to do another because you don't have, if you go to File, you cannot go to File, Open Site. That doesn't work anymore. You have to go to the word Site, different from the book. Site and Open Site. Now it's important that you get this. Stop the video as you need to get through this process. Site, Open Site, and then the computer will look for the location of your particular folder that you had. Now again, I don't know where you stored yours, but what you have to do is find where the folder is. Again, let me refresh your memory. Wherever you put, and I'm going to have to get all this stuff out that was in my previous video that I recorded. It's been a nightmare of a semester, folks, I promise you. It's really been unreal. You've got to find the location of the particular folder that you stored your house and your default file in. So I've got my folder right there, and again I'm going to make these very large so you can see these. You want to make sure you find the location of the folder. A little bit different in opening this than what you had in Word. So I'm going to click again, I chose just for review because I don't want to confuse you too much, Site, Open Site. Browse, click the Browse button and find the location of your particular folder. Yours will be different from mine because you have a different computer. I happen to know where my folder happens to be located, but you'll have to find where yours is. You will not have an exact spot in the same way that I do. And again, if you have immense problems, you're going to have to do some exploring, folks. If you're super nervous about computers, unfortunately, it just goes to the territory. You're going to have to learn how to locate this stuff and get some help. We have all kinds of help desk people. You can come to my office. I wouldn't come on the fly because I might be in a meeting, but get some help somewhere. Once you find the folder, and I'm doing this on purpose, Do not dig in there like you normally do in Microsoft Word or Microsoft Excel. Let that go. You want to find the folder. My folder happens to be called tutorial.02. Once I find that folder, and I'm sorry on Windows 8, like I said, I've had a nightmare of a semester with all the mishaps that have happened, and you'll have to bear with me when these tutorials and videos are done on the fly. Once you find that folder, you want to click Open. That will close that dialog box, and it locates it right here, and you want to click Open again. What will happen in Microsoft Expression Web is you'll get something probably similar to this one. Now, if you've got a screen by some chance that just has all kinds of disasters in there, you can actually go. The book, I don't like the discrepancies in the book. It really bothers me. You'll just have to learn it. You will go where it says in the book to go to Task Panes. You have to go to Panels and find something called Reset Current Workspace. That just gets your screen back to normal. And what you'll see right here, when you click the folder, you'll see a listing of the two files inside your folder that are called Default and House. And once you find those, you're going to be okay. Now, what you want to do at this point, and I'm having to read through your book to see the discrepancies, you want to open the file that is called default.htm within your folder. HTM just stands for hypertext, basically a hypertext file, basically an internet file. All internet files have an HTML extension eventually. Double click the one that says default. Now there's nothing there, which makes no sense to me. I think I know what's going on with it. You've got that particular file, and typically when you're using a software package that is used for designing web pages, I'm not talking about one like WordPress or Joomla or Wix or one of those. If you're using an actual software package, most of the time the computer will, if there's not a title, usually the name of the home page will either be index or default or home or something like that. Now, what you'll do on page EW37, you want to save this file. So I'm going to page 37, the second bar, and it says click File on the menu bar. Now I know this sounds hypocritical. We're basically renaming it. I'm going to go File, Save As, and because earlier we did the Open Site option, what will happen, it will automatically save your information in your Tutorial 2 folder. It's very important, very important that you know exactly where your HTML web page files are being saved. You got to monitor that closely. And they said in step 2 to change the title from the word default to the word dressings, dressings .htm. And you'll go ahead, you see a button that says change title. If you click that, trying to be consistent with the book, I'm going to call this house dressings. Now here's what's going to happen. When you click OK, you're going to have a file name where it's saved on your computer, and you're going to have a title called house dressings, which will appear on your web page. So go ahead, in this case, change that information, go to page 38, click Save, OK the change title, and then click Save. And what will happen, on the little tab at the top, the name of the file on your computer will be called dressings. If you were to actually go in and look at the web page on your computer, and just trust me right here, the title of the web page will appear at the top. That's where house dressings comes up. If you look at any web page on the internet, there's not only the content that's in the screen itself, but at the very top where you've got the little tabs for what pages are open, that's where the word house dressing will be. Now I'm back in Expression Web right here. You can also set special properties for these pages, and you do that, again, page 38. If you'll just right click anywhere in this now called dressings.html web page document, you can right click and you'll choose the word page properties, and this will allow you to put some features there. You'll notice that the title called house dressings is already there. Sometimes this real messy stuff comes up where it's got location. You'll see file : / C and all that. That's basically if it's been flip-flopped from one drive to another. I can work that out with you. You want to type in some page properties, and on page 39 the page description will say this is the home page, and if I type this wrong, forgive me, straight A people. House dressings, the finest salad. I'm just typing the text at the top of page 39. The finest salad dressings in the world. All right. If you go to keywords, basically keywords allows a web page to be searched. So if I were to type the word salad, the word dressing, just separate them by spaces, house, fresh, vegetables, H-O-U-S, they're actually misspelling it right here on purpose. What will happen is if a person were to search for your web page, they would look at the keywords would actually pop up right here. Okay? Now, if you want to change the background color, you would go in and click, let's see, there's not actually a formatting tab right here to do the background color. There's another option I think that will do the background color. It's a little bit different from what your book says. I really hate that this book is so different. Click OK right here for the page properties. And if you want to get these background properties, I'm thinking that they are in a different place. Yeah, you would click the formatting tab. Go back to page properties, click the formatting tab, and if you want the background color to be different right here, you would go in and you would click the background arrow, and you can choose whatever color you want to right there. You can choose the standard colors. This is in PowerPoint as well. You can click more colors and then find something as close as you can to this yellow looking color. I'm not going to be super particular about this. Again, I pick on the straight A people a lot, and don't worry so much. I'll be very fair to you. You can always challenge your grade. Just pick a color in that color swatch that's shaped like a hexagon and just click OK, and what will happen, you'll go back to the original box and click OK, and your background will change to yellow. What you want to understand about Expression Web, this is a software package that will generate code where and basically every web page on the internet has some kind of code associated with it. At the very bottom of the screen, you have three ways of viewing an Expression Web page. One of them is called Design. That's what it actually looks like when you look at it on the screen. There's one called Code. Windows 8's being difficult with me. If you click Code, you'll actually see the HTML language associated with it. And if you look at this, even if you don't understand code or don't want to, you'll see some items in there. You'll see the title called House Dressing at line 7 in my case. You'll see something called meta content. Basically, that's just giving information. So if a search, if you were typing, for instance, typing in the search for this page, if you typed in salad or dressings or vegetables, even spelling the word vegetables, which I did in a couple of places, it would possibly search for that in the list. You can click the split option at the bottom, and it will give you half the screen with code and half the screen with the actual design in it. So that's just mainly for information. So go ahead and go back and click Design, and I'm now on page 42. So you'll start entering text right here. And just at the very top line, if you'll click up here at the top, you'll probably see the word body, which is okay, don't worry about that, and you'll type the phrase house dressings. Just like in a word processor, if you misspell the word, you can always go back and change it. So I'm typing in house dressings right there. And at this point, again, I'm kind of on the fly because this book is so different from the newer version, which is so much better. And what's going to happen right here, basically HTML code for designing pages comes with a set of items that are called tags. For example, if you want something to be bolded, and I'll just show you this on the side just to give you an idea. If I were to select this text like I do in Microsoft Word and click the bold button, and I'll go back and change this later on, if I look at the code, what will happen, the word house dressing will be surrounded by two words called strong. You're saying that everything in between those two tags is to be strong or boldly emphasized. The letter P stands for the word paragraph. And as you make these changes or these edits in a document, I'll take the bold off for right now, these tags or these codes will automatically appear there. You can actually also pick tags over here. Sorry, this is Windows 8 giving me a fit again. You can also choose these tags by going over to the toolbox over here on the right side, and you can pick the tags from that list as well. This can be very confusing unless you just practice with it. And email me as much as you need to, message me, ask lots of questions, come by and visit if you need to. I'll be glad to help you out. And if you wanted to look at the page in the browser to see what it looks like right now, You can hit a button on page 44 called the F12 key. You can also go to the File menu and choose Preview in Browser, and you can choose from many different browsers. Internet, Firefox. They're choosing Internet, of course, because this is a Microsoft product. And notice the option here is F12. If I were to hit the F12 key, because I made some changes to this page, the yellow color and the house dressings, it's going to ask me to save it. And I certainly can do that before I view it. So when I click OK, it will save this page and update it in my folder, and it will show this to me as if I were on the internet. Now again, Expression Web is still back there. I'm just looking at this now as a web page. The title of the page right there is House Dressings. There's the yellow background. That's what it's going to look like initially when we preview it. I'll just go ahead and close this. I'm back in Expression Web now, and you can see what's going on. You can also look at different browsers. If you wanted to look at this, as I said before, in Chrome or in Firefox, pardon my microphone and headset, you can choose those browsers as well. And every time I slide this, you're probably going to see me have some fits with Windows 8 because I'm on a very sensitive touchscreen computer doing this video. Now if I want to close this site, I can go in. Now again, File, Close Site is not going to work on this new version. It will close the page, but you want to go to Site and close it. Page 45, a little bit different with the directions. Again, don't be afraid to do some exploring if you need to. And I'm not going to actually close it. If you did close it, you'll need to reopen it. I'm going to go ahead and reopen it again. I'm not going to reopen it again. I'm just going to, well, actually I will. I'll close this video out for right now because I probably have confused you to death. I hope I haven't. But there's so much I'm having to do right now with, as I said, with a nightmare this semester with books being ordered incorrectly in one class, this one, books not coming in another class. It's been very, very unusual what's happened this semester, like I've never had before. I'm going to go ahead and close this site and close this particular video right now. Watch the next video to continue with the rest of the exercise. If you have any questions, please let me know.